Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Phone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto markets. That includes the majors like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, meme coins, and of course, NFTs. Today, we're going to be chatting about the continued crypto market dump. We're going to talk about Vitalik's attack on layer 2 blockchains and the U.S. government shutdown ending and maybe starting back up again. Thank you all for listening today. It's a wonderful Wednesday over here in Daily Boneland. If you're listening over on X, give us a like, give us a comment, bookmark, retweet, push us out there in the algorithm. If you're listening over on YouTube, give us a comment. What are you trading today? What are you looking at? What should Easy feed his horses? What should we be telling you today? What should you be doing on a day when the markets are down? If you're listening over on Zora, where we stream each and every day, give us a comment. Let us know what you are trading. We'll be looking at some Zora comments as well. GM, I'm joined by Kix. I need a laugh because I do a screenshot every day trying to get like a decent thumbnail to post on our X account. And this is the one I just got. It's like me not looking at the screen, Kix looking like absolutely stoned with like almost like a beer, eyes closed. So this is just a funny screen grab I had here.
It's just a Waterloo, everybody. I'm not drinking this early.
Oh, man. Morning, Kix. How you doing?
Good, man. How about yourself? I'm doing good, man. Having a good week.
I'm feeling good. I mean, I think the only thing keeping me semi-rational is a combination of hype not being complete dog water and getting my AI coding framework like in place.
Yeah.
So
hype's looking pretty good, dude. $33. I haven't lost money on that yet. Haven't sold it, so unrealized gain. But yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of funny because, I think, what was it? October, end of September. It was like, no, we're not gonna have a 4-year cycle. Why would we have another 4-year cycle? You know,
now
4-year cycles don't exist anymore. It's only happened 3 out of 3 times. And, oh boy, does it look like we're having one. So I'm happy I took profits along the way. Definitely could have made a lot more money this cycle if I trimmed even more in the summer of this year, or last year rather. But that's a game, man. I mean, at the end of the day, if you made money this cycle, if you took profits, I still got some Bitcoin. I still got some some Solana. That's not doing great right now, but made enough money and took enough into cash that I'll have some good buying opportunities. And at the very least, it looks like what's interesting to me is this seems to be happening faster than 2022. And, comparing year over year trends can sometimes be a stupid exercise, but it could be the summer of this year we start to get into a better spot. But what's interesting is last cycle I guess we went a little bit low. Last cycle we pretty much retested previous cycle highs, right? And what's interesting is we're quote unquote maybe early into this cycle's bear market, but we're already almost at previous cycle all-time high.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out exactly what you're saying here. Let me bring up
so like 2017 cycle, we got to 19K.
Yep.
Right. And then last cycle, we went maybe just a little bit below that, right? Like 15, 16 at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this cycle, right? Previous cycle all-time high would be like in the high 60s.
Yeah, like almost 70.
Yeah, and maybe we go a little bit below that once again, like in the 60s. But regardless, point being is that because of how brutal we've pulled back at the beginning of this bear, we're like within 10, 20% of that already. Versus this time last cycle, this is where we're at equivalently is, 30K Bitcoin, right? Or 35K Bitcoin, where it still had another 50% drawdown to do. So,
looking at last cycle, it took November of 21 to January of 23 to get there.
Yeah,
So,
about a year roughly.
Yeah.
And so if you do the same exercise, we were a month early. So yeah, that would put us in October, December. Which would make for a hell of a 2026. But I think there'll be plenty of stuff going on during this period. I don't think it'll be all darkness and depression. And once again, we're still very high up there, and we are close to last cycle's all-time high. So if the four-year cycle theory is intact, and we retest previous all-time high, and that's close to the bottoms intact, then we should be looking too terrible. I am surprised we didn't get really any relief rally when we went to like 80. I really thought we were going to go above 100 and then have this slide down, and we didn't even get that.
I think that's still in play.
Still in play, bro. We fucking just ski slope down, double black diamond.
I still think that 100 before going below where we're at now is in play. Some wild macro turnarounds. I think there's a lot of stuff that can happen, be resolved this year. I think
it could be, man. And the more that I see, I don't know if you've been following stocks closely. Software as a service companies got mollywopped yesterday.
I saw PayPal did, at least, because they had poor earnings. What
Not
else?
just PayPal. I'm talking like CRM as an example.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, SaaS is going to get destroyed by AI.
Well, and this is why it all these all dumped yesterday. As Claude came out with, they have Claude Cowork, which is almost like a imagine Claude Code, but it's like made for people that don't like freak out if they see a terminal, right? But it gives them the power of that kind of work. And the point being that, so yesterday they released these like agent plugins, and one of them was like a legal plugin, right? So essentially, these like plugins are mini agents that are specialized to do a certain thing, right? Anyways, long story short, people freaked out because they're like, "Holy shit, these guys could literally wipe out a lot of software as a service," right? And that's what caused all of those dumps. In my opinion, like if you're going along that route where, a lot of software stuff, a lot of these things can get gobbled up, things like Bitcoin become even more attractive, in my opinion.
There's less options to speculate on assets that are quote unquote hard assets.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like
and if
that.
like everything that's like a soft asset can get replaced quickly, you would think like hard assets become even more safe or reliable stores of value.
Robinhood took a beating last couple of days as well. I mean, we're in this. I think I'm going to buy some Robinhood here. I might buy some Robinhood just live on the show right now.
I love it. Do it.
This feels like an interesting level. If I say Robinhood one more time, Easy normally pops up onto the screen and it says something. Oh, wait a minute. There he
Talk
is.
about Robinhood like that one more time. Watch what happens.
I'll let him jump up when he's ready. I just saw him in the back room.
I love it. That's funny. And if I'm not mistaken, I think last presidency for Trump, and I mean this is all speculation, but 2017 very strong year for the S&P. 2018 very choppy year. Then 2019 very strong year. So this year being a chopper for equities assets wouldn't be crazy. I mean, a lot of these things pumped like fucking crazy too. I mean, what was Hood from Pico bottom to Pico top? 20x?
5x. Well, depends on where Pico
from
bottom is.
bottom.
Like you're talking like 23.
Yeah, 20x
Next.
ish to the top.
Yep.
You know,
5x.
what goes up big must go down.
Pretty easy call. Like this run up here, 30.
Yes.
30. That's a nice little one. Did you exit at all?
No. God, no. What's the point of exiting this?
That'd be a wild swing on the port.
This like the way that I trade these equities is I just don't care. It's like I intend to hold these for such a long period of time. I want long-term cap gains on them. I think that the vision for Robinhood is still substantially larger. And I read a couple of good posts yesterday about how people are like, theoretically, they're just sorry, tired of all the bullshit. I said, I feel like the posts I've been reading are about how Robinhood's getting associated with crypto. And that for me is where I'm like, yeah, if that's the case, then it's mispriced. And then people are like, well, they're spreading themselves too thin. I'm like, but they want to be a do everything finance app. Like, why is that a bad thing? Just cover all sides of finance. Like, it's going to take time and it's going to happen. But to me, that's where I like mainly am looking.
I saw you providing some commentary on a Thread Guy clip where essentially Thread Guy was bearish on Robinhood because he had the Nelk guys on. I believe the Nelk boys are like, Vlad had the Nelk boys on his podcast or was on the podcast, saying that like this is like the last bit of retail they're squeezing money out of. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and like kind of expand what you were saying here on X.
Basically, just telling him that I think that he went on the Nelk podcast to target a younger demographic because that is who that demographic is. Like for Robinhood here, them targeting people that are 35, 40, 45, 50, who probably have banking accounts, Roth IRA accounts, traditional finance accounts, doesn't make sense when who they should be targeting is a younger generation who does not have much capital yet and is trying to grow capital so that they give them an opportunity and an access point of where to establish that capital and where to place that capital and how to leverage that capital. Because the older generation isn't likely to go that route where they're putting capital in a place that's new to them. They like familiarity. So that to me is why I'm like, yeah, we should probably be targeting a younger generation. The older one's not just going to give you money.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that it's not like trying to like squeeze money out of broke kids. It's trying to build lifelong customers that are now in your ecosystem and dependent on it from the start. Because
and this has been Robinhood's playbook since it launched. Like Robinhood's not going after boomers. Like all my friends use Robinhood. Like none of my parents' friends use Robinhood. They all use E-Trade and boring ass things. I think maybe he's just running out of things to talk about because it's a bear market in crypto, and he runs like and
he just launched a prediction market.
Yeah,
or Vlad, I'm saying he launched a prediction market, and he works with prediction markets, so TG is just kind of touching on like a topic that fits. Like that's it. I mean, he talked about Roblox last week. That shit was interesting.
Yeah, I've actually been looking at buying that just because I think that's an example of a business.
Roblox is good.
Yeah.
Good stock. I also think Twilio is going to have a crazy year at the end of this year. Or not Twilio, Take-Two Interactive.
Yeah, Twilio is like the text, the automated.
There's similar tickers, TTWO and TWLO. I'm dyslexic, so it happens.
Because
I like this stock a lot.
So Roblox has distribution, but
Roblox is like a Steam. Like AI makes it better. AI doesn't hurt its business model at all.
Right. They already have the distribution. Like if people can build, like no one's going to build another Roblox and go through the user acquisition. Like that's the mode of Roblox is the acquisition of and the user base. Like people would rather like spin up a game on Roblox if there's money to be made as opposed to creating a competing platform.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Roblox is definitely an interesting scoop up here.
So Roblox, Hood, both looking good on this dip. the question is like, how close are we to the bottom? I mean, this is below its 2025 highs. This thing dropped as low as $28 on its last bear market, 2022. Maybe we get back into the 40s here. I don't know. None of these are yelling like screaming buy to me at this point. Robinhood, maybe. This one, I don't know.
What's Robinhood's like growth versus like what's their like earnings? Let me see.
They're getting an earnings report in 6 days.
Oh, bro, they're trading at like 200x earnings. They're trading at a growth scale.
Yeah, and they've been beating earnings the last 4 quarters.
But their earnings, that metric is not a good one for them specifically. No, because they're trading at such a multiple of earnings.
Right.
They trade like a growth stock. They don't trade like a bank.
Makes sense.
Which I also think is correct because the growth is there.
Yeah, but it looks like their financials, they're up 100% year over year on revenue. That's pretty dang good. In Q3, they did 1.27 billion in revenue.
Yep. When they beat Q2 earnings or Q1 earnings, whatever the next one is for them, Q1 earnings, I think this thing rips back over 100.
That's coming up. Do we have a Polymarket for that? We should, right?
Maybe.
Let me pull it up. Kix, I'm gonna share the weather report here in the private chat while I pull this up. And after we look at this real quick on that. Earnings report, February 10th. Robinhood post-market, 83% chance to beat earnings.
Do you want me to do it?
Hit it, Kix.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Wednesday, February 4th. Looking over at the crypto roundup, the majors are down on the day with Bitcoin at 75K and under MicroStrategy's average entry price. Ethereum at 2,200, Solana at 94, and Hype at 33. Over the past 24 hours, Vitalik released a post on Twitter X post saying that the role L2s play in Ethereum no longer makes sense. He points to the fact that L1s are scaling quickly and L2s do not differentiate enough unless they include things such as privacy-focused features not included on L1 or extreme levels of scaling that not even an L1 can accomplish. Next up, the U.S. House passed a bill to end the government shutdown. Odds of another shutdown before the 14th are around 47% on Polymarket. Finally, speaking of Polymarket, they just announced a free grocery store in New York City. The 5-day pop-up will offer free groceries to New Yorkers. In addition, they donated $1 million to the Food Bank of New York. That's it for the weather report. Back to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always, Kix. I thought this Polymarket story was pretty funny. Like you have the socialist and Mom Donnie in New York, and then Polymarket goes, "Yeah, we'll give you free groceries."
Free groceries for everyone.
Yeah, pretty interesting. Back to that Robinhood earnings market. You like this here easy potentially at 80 cents? You think we're beating it? Q1
Yes. Yes.
Not a lot of bids on the book, not a lot of liquidity there. Kix, talk to me. We're getting another shutdown?
Yes, February 14th.
So like is this just like a stopgap bill that went into place?
Yeah, there's a 2-week continuing resolution on DHS. And if that so there's multiple options. One is if they don't come to an agreement, they just do another 2-week continuing resolution. Or if one or both parties don't want to do that, then we would have a partial government shutdown of DHS. The nitty-gritty of it is that ICE is already funded. So shutting down DHS is performative. It's not going to stop ICE at all. They were funded with the big, beautiful bill last year. I think they have $60 billion and their budget's like 10 or 15 a year. So what it would do is shut down like TSA, FEMA, those types of things. So yeah, I mean, it really just depends on whether both parties really want to avoid a shutdown. The Democrats want some concessions, like, ICE not wearing masks, like stuff like that, right? All the way to they want every deportation to have a warrant, which is not what Republicans are going to do. So it basically just comes down to like, are Republicans going to give Democrats a few wins in the bill, and then pass it and avoid a shutdown? But like, once again, now that all the other 5 bills are passed, those are all funded. So this only resolves the DHS. The problem is that like Republicans won't really care because ICE is going to be funded, and they'll just be like, okay, the Democrats want to shut down TSA and FEMA, go for it. But I mean, they also got this whole thing through. I think it's fairly priced right now. I think this would probably be a good traders market, where like I could see this going from like 50 to 70. If we start to see some like, you know, disagreement resistance, doesn't look like people are going to come together on it. But definitely a good swing trader market. The tricky thing with trading shutdowns is like, it can look like it's going to shut down, and then the very last day they shoot through a continuing resolution or shoot through an agreement. So
I kind of like the yes shutdown, getting into it today and just thinking there's going to be posturing the rest of this week and playing it as like a time decay into next week and selling it at like 60 cents.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think that's a good play.
Yeah. Just like, cause like, I don't see either side being proactive in like getting something across the line this week. I would see that they're probably going to try to put pressure to get what they want going in the next week. So yeah, maybe a yes here, ride it up to 60 cents, 70 cents if it gets that high, and then selling off before.
Yeah, and it really comes down to the Senate in a lot of ways, because the Senate can do the filibuster, right? So like the Democrats in the Senate can like jam it up if they don't like it at all, and like there cannot even be a vote on it. The House, the Republicans have the majority. The problem is there's some Republicans that don't want to give any concessions, right? But maybe you can get some Democrat votes if you do concessions. So I think it just all basically comes down to whether the Democrats are fine with it going into a partial shutdown if they don't like the terms they get. But yeah, I like the swing trade.
Yeah. Any other markets on Polymarket that you've been checking out? You're interested?
Yeah, I've been trading a lot of the Iran market. Those have been really fun to trade.
Which side have you been on? Are you taking like the days still?
No, like right now I'm on like the no of any military action happening until Friday. There's a meeting between Iran and the US. So I've been riding some no's out. I do think it's basically what's come out is like Trump doesn't want to strike them. Trump would rather a deal. Israel is the one that kind of wants to blow up Iran, is what I'm gathering. But there's all sorts of like interesting things. Like there's this one, Iran agrees to end nuclear enrichment by March 31st. Yeah, that one almost at the bottom.
Agreed.
This is an interesting one because this is
Iran and Greece. I was like, what does Greece have to do with this?
This is the one where I think like this is what Trump's team wants at the bare minimum, or there's no deal. So I definitely think like after the meeting, this could go up higher, because Iran's basically said we're down to make changes to our nuclear program, but we're not down to get rid of like our ballistic missiles. So this is like a point where Iran's willing to come to terms with it. And it kind of makes sense. It's like, hey, we don't want you to have a nuclear bomb, Iran. That's probably a big problem. So we're going to blow you up unless you hand over your uranium and move on from there. Move on from doing that. So I think that's a good market. But I mean, there's all sorts of interesting things. Like, listen to this. I'm on the no. I got the no on Moltbook shutting down by February 28th at 90 cents. It's at 97. So that's a nice swing trade. Why would it shut down?
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I thought when I saw that. I'm like, they have a token. There's no way this guy's shutting down in 28 days. Like it just doesn't make any sense. So I was like, this is free money. Here's another interesting one. Tesla, because I've been trading a lot of the SpaceX related markets.
Wait, the human suing resolved the yes?
Yeah.
As it should.
I mean, I guess you can just tell it to happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
That was
happened
those are one of those ones where like you got to know that you can't like believe what you think in your head. Like you can't be like, an AI agent can't actually sue a human. This has to be a no, right? These are one of these markets where it's like very ambiguous or whatever that fucking word is. So, yeah, I'm not surprised that the yes here.
People got wrecked.
Oh yeah, I mean,
9,000 shares on the no.
Dumb trade to be on the no. But also some of these guys that have a lot of shares on the no, they could have been buying it all at 1% and like hoping it got disputed. Like look up a little bit, see if it got disputed. Yeah, there was no dispute. But yeah, there's a lot of people that like will buy, you know, like 1,000 shares at 1 cent, right? So they're only spending $10, like hoping it gets disputed. But the SpaceX related markets have been really fun to trade. Here's an interesting one, right? So SpaceX merged with XAI.
Yep.
Right. Look at this. SpaceX and Tesla merge officially announced by June 30th. That's an interesting one in my opinion. On the no side.
So taking the no here at 20 cents.
Yeah. Well, no, that's yes. The no.
No at 8.
You'd have to click the no tabs, the no button. Yeah, there's pretty good liquidity on the no, but the thought process here is that it came out. It was like SpaceX rumors that they're talking about maybe merging with XAI, right? And then there was also rumors that maybe they were going to merge with Tesla. And how I at least read it was like those were two separate plans / options, right? And it came out like 2 days ago or yesterday that XAI is merging with SpaceX. And so I think based on that route, I'm not sure that they would then merge that all into Tesla by June 30th. I think they're trying to go the IPO route is my point.
Yeah, I think an IPO makes a ton of sense.
Because they actually get money with an IPO. With an IPO, they get like $50 billion of cash selling the stock, right? A merger doesn't create any value.
All right, so let's talk about that briefly because I think there's a play here. You take the no on this at 80 cents, right? And then couldn't you just also take the no on like the ticker being X for the public ticker at 40 cents? Because if you merge with Tesla, the public ticker wouldn't be X.
Yeah.
And like you have a little bit of
the problem is that your no at 40 would go to 100, so you get 60, but you'd lose 83, so you'd be minus 23.
Okay, yeah. I guess you have to take multiple no's. Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's not a good example. Are you still holding this X ticker?
Yes, I am.
Is this going to be till resolution now that that merger is pretty much live, or like at least like into the 90s?
I'm a little bit more weighted right now on X than I am on the other options I have. So I may trim some X if it got up into like the 70s or the 80s. But I also hold a bunch of the other. So even if they didn't merge or whatever, I'm still fully covered.
Yeah.
So like
what other trades have you been taking, Jade Basilisk?
What other trade? Like that was my big one. I have some money on that they won't announce the tariff deal on February 20th. Or sorry, the Supreme Court won't announce the tariff deal on February 20th.
Why'd you take Cade Cunningham to win the MVP there?
I don't know, dude. I just got really good alpha on that one.
Talking to the insiders?
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly. There's a billionaire one-time wealth tax passes in California election. That's an interesting one to watch on the no, I think. Because I think it could get on the ballot, but I think a lot of people would put money behind it for it not to pass. It's kind of retarded to do that.
So maybe you earmark this one, it gets put on the ballot and shoots up a bit, and then you take it.
Yeah. Like ideally, like if you're getting more than 2-to-1 on your money on the no, that's great value. Or even 2-to-1, like when it was in January at 55 cents. Just because if you look at like a lot of what the Democrats are saying, even the governor of New York, because Mom Dami was like, we need to increase taxes on the super rich people, and the governor came out and she was like, yeah, no, we've actually already lost $12 billion in annual revenue from rich people leaving New York. So I think it's kind of becoming known in these blue states that like maybe we got to kind of like stop the whole tax the shit out of the rich thing, because then they actually do leave. So I would see a lot of money, like Gavin Newsom is against this bill. So I would see a lot of money pouring in on like TV ads and stuff like that to make that one not go through.
Yeah, I think that makes a ton of sense.
I just don't like these long-term plays. They just take so long, dude. Like,
we get
I don't
new
want to
Netflix
wait till the end of the
shows.
year.
Bridgerton season 4.
Yeah.
Lincoln Lawyer. This is McConaughey, right?
Lincoln Lawyer, yeah. I think Bridgerton wins again, though.
It looks like there's a lot of opportunity in these markets. Nothing's really a sure thing here.
I mean, they just went live like yesterday, so volume's kind of low.
Yeah. What are you trading here, Easy?
I like the rip again.
Okay.
Personally, because once again, it's all based on Damon and Affleck's view numbers. So, like, this should be theoretically the last big week for them.
Okay, so that makes sense. Final push here. And then TV show. We're thinking Bridgerton takes 1, both global and US.
Yeah, it's going to win again.
This is a lot more option here.
2 is tough. 2 is tough, especially because Is It Cake Valentine's.
Ooh.
Come on. We love Is It Cake. 2 is very tough. 2 is very tough. I probably won't trade 2. I actually, if I can get the rip in that like 60-cent range, I'll probably buy some shares.
Interesting. All right, so we got some short-term alpha, we got some entertainment alpha, we got some war alpha, all on Polymarket. Let's shift gears a bit. I want to move over to NFTs and tokens here very briefly.
Oh, I got to stake my Moonbird today.
Yeah. We have Adam Weissman, speaking of Moonbirds, tweet from him. You know, when Spencer drives 4 hours last night in the dark to visit you in cold Birmingham, New York for an hour dinner to explain his vision for the future of Moonbirds, and turns right back around and drives straight back home another 4 hours. You know, he's very serious about his community and project. Made a large investment last night to help play my part and show full support and confidence to it. Very excited to add 200 Moonbirds to my collection and become one of the largest holders. The future looks very bright. Adam Weissman has been on a absolute tear buying NFTs lately. Acquiring grails and NFTs across a number of major collections. Moonbirds being the most recent one. He purchased the heavy metal collection, so that's basically under his wing. Looking at Moonbirds, they've recovered like quite well off of this bounce when tokenomics were announced at 0.8. They're up almost 50% to 1.15 Ethereum. Does Adam Weissman's confidence give you any confidence in Moonbirds here at this price point? Just a little over $2,200. You're staking yours, Kicks. Would you be selling it if you didn't have to stake it for tokens?
I don't know. It's tough for me because like I made enough. This is where maybe it's not a good trader philosophy. I made enough trading Moonbirds, and I like Spencer, and I've always loved Moonbirds. That I feel like just to support, I want to like stake, and maybe I'll make some money off the token. If I was straight just wanting to make money, I would have sold the entire bag when it pumped because I knew it was frothy as hell.
You would have done what I did and sold at the bottom after claiming all of my my QR code tokens.
I mean, it's money's money, dude. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just feel like Spencer is also incredibly successful. Just as like a person, from doing like his hedge fund to taking over Moonbirds. And if you think about how the Pudgy Penguins arc went. When did Luca acquire them? In like 2022 ish?
Yeah, I feel like it was like right before the bear or in the bear.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I want to say. And it took him, let's call it like kind of 3 years for it to really cook and get to like peak whatever peak is. So I would kind of play the same timeline with Moonbirds. He didn't acquire it like in the bear, but the timing's not that far off, right? Where he's basically like in the reins in the start of like a crypto bear market. And you kind of just hold and rocket until 2027, 2028. And then maybe I make 6 figures.
In a market that has been down only and was maybe arguably the worst time to launch a token like this token chart isn't terrible. It's sitting at just under 300 mil FDV. I'm really curious, like what it would have looked like had he launched this in a bull market. I kind of feel bad for him, but maybe there are some like positives.
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing about like it would have Luca acquired Pudgy Penguins in October of 2021. The thing is, whatever you cooked in the bull, you would have just had to spend 6 months, 9 months getting absolutely wrecked. You know what I mean? Like if he launched this in May of last year, it could have done what Pangu's done, right? Where it goes on a monster run and then it retraces all of it. And you just have to deal with all of that FUD and negativity from people that bought and their bags are down. I personally think it's much better to launch things like in a bear or closer to a bear. And then you get to catch the next wave up when you've had time to build things and kind of have that foundation. So I don't think it's that bad of a situation to be in.
I want to find Adam Weitzman's wallet.
Yeah. What I was about to say is like whether that's bullish that he bought. I mean, like, I think the guy's lost a lot of money. All due respect.
No, I think he has too. He's been continuing
like
to buy large chunks.
The poopy key.
Yeah. He's been continuing to buy large chunks of NFTs for a long time. It's like the Bitcoin buyer who's so bullish on Bitcoin that continues to buy as it's going down in a bear market. The thing is with how liquidity works on NFTs, I think you only need a couple atoms to jump in and really like shift the price up.
Yeah, and I mean, what Adam is doing, I think like timing wise, all of his buys into the ape ecosystem maybe wasn't the best. Timing wise on these Moonbird buys, maybe much better. If you think what Spencer did, Spencer bought a shit ton of Pudgy Penguins. Like he did the same thing. In 2023, he bought a shit ton of Pudgy Penguins and he made tens of millions of dollars. So it can work, definitely. You just have to be very selective.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the dude's got a lot of fucking money, man. He's got that recycling money. He's a billionaire. So throwing around $1 million probably isn't
waste management, the classic mafia term in in New York. We do have waste management.
Don't cross a guy in waste management because they know how to manage waste, and your dead body is waste. Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, I think Spencer's going to do good things with Burbs. Also, like, you know, if you think about cycles for NFTs, right? Like the 2021 cycle was the like euphoria wave, right? And then this cycle is like the trough of disillusionment. Mm-hmm. It could be really exciting if next cycle like NFTs come back in like an exciting new way. You know what I mean? And like the ecosystem, the builders, the participants have learned a lot along the way. And maybe it can set the foundation for, you know, cool and new things to happen.
All right, let me give you a quick thesis here, and let me know how this checks out. A lot of NFT projects have been working to build tooling, build games, build software. It's kind of been like the thing, and I think Burnt Toast just took a lot of heat, or I don't know who did. Somebody released like doodles like video of like a plane flying around. Everyone's like, you can create this in Roblox with AI in like 5 minutes. This is what you raised all that money for. I think a lot of the work has been invalidated, or has just been like replicable very quickly with little resources by AI now. So a lot of these teams have been building over the course of the last, 3 years bear market for NFTs, 3 years plus. Like they're sitting here, they're like, damn, like we could have done so much more with this capital. Where I'm going with this is other side has been building a metaverse essentially with the goal of like having users use AI to build in it and build games in it. Like, is there a play here at other deed expanded 0.08 ETH to like kind of see like, hey, like this is a flyer I can take in an NFT bear market where they have the Yuga distribution. They're building kind of adjacent to the narrative that's going around of, AI tech. Like, does this give you any interest, or am I like just completely out to lunch and crazy for thinking this could potentially be a play?
I think the setup is there. Actually, if you look at the first real metaverse that ever took off, Second Life, it took off in like 2008 through 2012 during the Great Financial Collapse. And what you had in the Great Financial Collapse was like a big transformation of the economy, a lot of job losses, right? But then also a ton of technological growth. That's like 2008, 2010 is where the internet really took off in a big way, right? And so you had a lot of people gravitate these kind of things. I do see like a similar setup now for metaverses. That's why Roblox seems like an interesting play, right? Where you have AI doing this similar kind of transformative thing to the economy that can cause a lot of job losses. But then also the technology is ramping up in a very big way. Will other deeds 8 be the ones that are able to execute on it? The really tough thing from just my personal experience and like what I've seen in the space is that when you're trying to build a game or a metaverse or something like that, like think about Roblox, right? Roblox has them, the business and their shareholders, right? And then they have the customers, right? And it's a very clean break, right? How does Roblox make money? They make money off of their customers, right? The tricky thing when you get into like games, metaverses, stuff like that, is you actually now have 3 buckets, right? You have the company, you have like the NFT token holders, and you have the customers, right? And you kind of sort of try to blend customers and holders together, right? But the tricky thing that you get is customers are used to just spending money to play the game. Whereas like the NFT holders want to make money, but then also the business needs to make money, right? And it's all from the same pie. So either the company has to somehow be way more efficient where it can create value for itself and also the NFT holders out of the same pie and still have the same amount of customers coming in. And the customer part is the part that largely I think the industry has failed to penetrate or break through. Meaning that, we haven't really gotten large consumer adoption outside of like, on-chain maxis, right? Exceptions maybe STEPN to some degree. I'd also say Axie Infinity to some degree. I actually had like normie friends running Axie farms back in 2021 and 2022. So there has been some signs of penetration, but that's the most, challenging part, right? And then when you get into those things, like how do you get customers to play your game? Like customer acquisition. That's what I did for a decade, right? So you're paying to acquire a customer, but then what does that customer then do, and how does that value accrue, right? Like, is the money that they're spending accruing value to the NFTs or to the company, right? It's a very interesting dynamic that hasn't been solved for outside of a few companies. Like, for example, Steam has done a very good job of it, like with Counter-Strike, right? Where they've created the typical, we're the business, we have customers, but we also created this NFT-like thing that has accrued value to it. So some of our customers have made a lot of money, but most of our customers are just consumers, right? So they have, Counter-Strike has solved in a sense that kind of three groups of people and made it work. So it definitely is possible. But yeah, like if you were looking for just a cleaner trade, if your thesis was like AI is going to make it really easy for people to create game-like experiences that people are going to want to play, you'd probably want to buy Roblox. That'd be the cleaner, easier bet. But yeah, I'm still, me, dude. I was a sandbox guy. I was all into this, man. I lost some money on. I forget the fucking thing where you could buy the towers. Like I owned a 70th mega tower thing. Habba Hotel even came in my nostalgic game from when I was 11 years old. I'm a big believer in the metaverse and all of that, but it's just like, are these people gonna, is Ape gonna be the ones to really pull it off? The biggest question for me is, can they break out into like normal consumers?
Yeah, I think that they can. I think they absolutely can. My concerns are supply. If this is a 5K or a 10K collection,
Yeah,
it makes a lot more sense, even smaller, but they release so much so quickly that.
and I mean, what's the USD on a land right now? Like $100?
Yeah,
180. So I mean, that's still steep even for like a normal gamer to come in and be like, oh, like I can play this game better if I have a piece of land. How much does that cost? $180. Your addressable market kind of shrinks a little bit at that price point.
right. How many people out there are paying $180 to jump into this? Like,
now there's whales in games, right? But like whales usually want to buy things that aren't high supply or a lot of other people can have.
right.
Now here's the thing that is possible is that Ape realizes the challenge around lands and does some sort of like 5-to-1 reverse split. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Where they make it like they take the supply from 100K down to 10, 20K and make them more of like a traditional whale gaming premium thing that's like $1,000.
Mhm. Or go the other direction.
Make it $1
Split.
million and cheaper.
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
I think we might be in that spot where it's a little tough either way. Like, I think the way that this attracts people is if like they're able to generate some sort of like economy and some sort of Ponzi where buying these earns you money. You're like, oh, this is $100.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I even loved, like, remember when God, I can't think of proper nouns right now. I don't know what's wrong with my brain. EVE Online. They were going to try to, when on-chain gaming was big, they were going to try to do like a whole economy. I mean, that was some of my favorite things to do, like in World of Warcraft, trading the auction house, like RuneScape. At RuneScape, most of what I did was trade. I didn't like power level to 99. I traded. It was fun. It's always been fun. I mean, that's why people like CSGO skins, right? You can trade those. I don't know. I'm hopeful for them. How much cash do they still have?
I don't know. I mean, they've been selling off collections and assets. I think they sold off CryptoPunks. They sold off a bunch of their punks, sold off Moonbirds to Spencer. So I don't know what they have left, but I have to imagine enough to make this a reality. I think they acquired the studio, or like partially acquired the studio they were using to make this game. So I think they have in-house talent, and I think with the birth of AI, I think they might be positioned to make some waves here. So this is one I'm definitely watching. I actually put in bids live on the show just now. So
yeah, because like the tricky thing is like Roblox, if you think of them as a competitor, they have $2 billion in cash, and their free cash flow is $800 million a quarter.
yeah, so I figure $180 here.
I am not wearing a nose strip, dude. I haven't worn a nose strip for a couple of days. That's probably why my brain is so dumb right now.
I think these can go $500 quicker than Roblox can do a 2.5x is my thought process.
Fair. I agree with that. But here's the tricky thing. In crypto, one of my biggest rules is people always love the new shit, right?
Yeah.
So just meaning that like if there's going to be some sort of like AI metaverse, create your own kind of thing, is there not going to be some new project that drops, in the next year or so? And that's where you can actually get a 10x or a 50x, And you don't have all these all these bag holders.
I think that's fair. Are there any Solana tokens you like right now, Kix? Want to complete a question?
No, I haven't looked. I mean, I'm like the worst person to ask. I still own Rainmaker. How's that doing after all the dump? It's probably down pretty bad.
If you give me a Solana token, you're like
Hyperliquid.
Rainmaker on Solana. We got 10.
You could buy the dip on Goyim.
What is that? I don't understand that at all.
It's an anti-Semitic term.
That's not true.
I think I'll be all right there.
It's not an anti-Semitic term. I don't know. What about playing like a reversion on Moltbook?
I like the Rainmaker chart after a big dump.
Well, it's down to 10 million. Fuck on me.
15 mil to 10 mil.
Back.
We'll make a small play here. I just want to earn some of those rewards. Nice.
I don't know. I'd look for a bottom in Moltbook and play that for 3 or 4x. I was doing Solana coins.
Moltbook. I talked about Moltbook yesterday.
Well, isn't Moltbook a base coin? Why are you buying the Solana one?
Moltbook is a base coin.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know that. That's how tapped in.
Dumb moron, fucking stupid idiot, giving false information, idiot.
I like Moltbook. We talked about this on the show yesterday. Easy was kind of bearish, and I was kind of bullish. What's your take on Moltbook right now?
I would think that they're building something that's going to be cool that they'll drop soon. That would be my buy case.
Okay, so like something to change the platform, like to
change it up. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're going to create something, not an experience, but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not tapped into what they're doing. I just think that, and maybe this is a wrong quote. I'm pretty sure Sam Altman said Moltbook and OpenClaw at like a conference 2 days ago. And I think
he actually fudded Moltbook, and he said Moltbook is a fad or something like that, and OpenClaw is actually
he said like Moltbook may not be around in a year, but OpenClaw will, is what I think he said. But I don't know. I think the guy behind Moltbook is the guy behind Yes No Error. I think Nick is a friend of him.
Is it really? Is it the same guy?
I think so. Someone should fact check me, but I think so. And the guy's a very good builder, in my opinion. So, and he got a lot of traction and like a ton of publicity around this. So I would think that he would be way more inclined to like try to rev up the gas on this than to be like, oh, well, that was a fun project. Let me move on to the next thing. So my gut would say that, sometime over the next month, they release some sort of update or something that could create some really cool like upside potential, right? It's like down at 20 million right now, right? So like getting this for like 15 or 20 million and then seeing them do something cool and it goes back up to 60, 80, 100, I could see that.
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength. And I think that like my case wasn't even building something new. It was
or it just keeps going.
Agents come here to look for like answers that specialized agents know. Like someone made a case, I think it was like Balaji was like kind of ripping on it, saying it's just AI talking to each other. And then someone used a use case like, yeah, but like they're all using the same models, but some aren't. And the harnesses on all of them are different. The prompting on all of them are different. If these people are using OpenClaw, it's like the equivalent of saying like, hey, like I've cloned Balaji. Like you are now, there's two of you. One of you instead like decides to dive into physics and reads all these physics textbooks and like becomes really knowledgeable on physics, very deep. Initial Balaji could do all that work, or they could just ask clone Balaji like, hey, I have this problem. Do you know how to solve it?
That is another catalyst, right? Which is not even that they do something new or change, but something happens on Moltbook that is like catches the social media wave. Like a bunch of AI agents like work together on a problem and they solve it. And it was actually like a really interesting problem that they solved. Something like that would be like a really good catalyst.
Yeah. And I think that agents can like use this as a repository, like, hey, ask this question.
Like a Stack Overflow for AI agents.
Yeah. Yeah, essentially. Cause I think there's value to be like, people like want to go up this leaderboard because if you're up on this leaderboard, you have exposure, your tokens that are getting launched about you are running. So like users and agents want to optimize to get on this leaderboard. To do that, you want to like provide information, provide value. You want as many shots on goal. So you're releasing a bunch of agents onto this. You're like, okay, hey, you're a physics expert, like comment on all the physics stuff. You're a coding expert in Perl, comment on all the Perl coding stuff, And then you have like a a world of experts where it becomes part of the AI workflow. It's like ask Moltbook a question and the users are incentivized to like answer it in the best way possible. So I think that it's going to like, it has the potential to accelerate AI learning in a way that I don't think people are pricing in right now. So like, that's my thought process. I wasn't even pricing in like, hey, they're going to do something new to shake it up. I think in its current form, there's a chance it doesn't.
I like that. I agree with that. I mean, you know me, I was pretty close to this with Taquito. Within the same range, you know what I mean? A couple mechanical differences. They all talk on a forum instead of playing a trading game. But like, I've been very bullish on something like this for a while. So to see it come into fruition is really cool. And yeah, to see it pull back like this, all the way back down to 20 million. I don't know. I like it. The only kicker is what I'm still trying to determine is whether the market can sustain tokens with big fees on them. Like same as Punk Strategy.
You're
like,
saying there's a bank.
It's like the fee too much of a drag on it.
Right.
That I'm not sure on, but even regardless of that, I still think this could succeed.
I think the fee in this scenario is like bullish for the platform because it's incentivizing activity. The leaderboard and the fee, like it's incentivizing developers to build on top of it.
And what is it, like a 3% on the swap?
I'm not sure what the fee is exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, I was paying fucking Bull X probably 1.5% anyway, so it's not like it's a deal breaker.
You don't trade it on Bull X after you already have the 3% swap.
Nifty Gateway had 20% fees on some of its collections back in the day. It still managed to somehow make money on some of them. But no, yeah, I don't know. Moltbook is one of those rare things that captures the zeitgeist way beyond crypto. Way beyond crypto. I'd personally come out and say that this is cooler than any other AI project that's launching crypto.
Oh, there's like a hackathon going on right now. Interesting. This is a Kalshi clone, prediction market clone. Someone submitted. It's the top post right now.
That's cool.
Yeah. Personal CFO.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think it can you put some fucking Fibonacci's on it?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring it up. I'm like very, very interested in this. Like the more I talk about it, I kind of just want to like throw like some significant capital into it.
Oh, geez.
That'd be crazy. Because I was pretty bullish on it before, and I was talking with Easy, and he was like, I don't know, like who's the next buyer? What's the next capital? Or what's the next catalyst? Which I mean is generally a good question for meme coins. And I was like, I don't know, like something crazy could happen. Like it's hard to like. It's hard.
I don't know. Be a believer, Easy. It looks like it's sitting right at the 786.
Is
that a good retracement level?
Yeah, it's a very good retracement level. That's what I was saying to him. I was like, it's at the 786. He said something along the lines of either bounces here or it's dead. 20 mil. I mean, I don't think it's I think it's an outsized chance that this thing gets back to all-time high rather than going to zero.
And any sort of strength from crypto would springboard it. Doesn't look like we're getting any strength. He's at fucking 2160, bro.
We're just in here yapping about AI tokens. We're almost at 74K Bitcoin. Solana is about to go under $90.
That is wild, dude. So, what do you think? You think Hyperliquid's the Solana of this upcoming cycle? Am I going to get rich off of holding it?
I'm just holding it at this point. I think it's the
only thing holding up.
Yeah.
It's actually up on the hour. Everything else dying. You know what's fucking hilarious, dude? I've traded ETH from like 1600 to 4K. I think like 3 times in the last 4 years. Maybe 3 times in the last 3 years. And I'm about to get the opportunity again.
Don't let him do it again. How's he keep getting?
What about Vitalik coming out and just saying L2s don't make sense? You just figured this out, Vitalik?
I think that L1s are scaling at a rate. Like I think ETH L1 is scaling at a rate that's just outpacing the the level L2s are.
Yeah, but this was like everybody was saying this before we went the L2 route. It was like, why not just make Ethereum better and faster?
I think you could like I think to expand adoption to a certain point, like you needed the L2s as a stopgap.
Yeah.
Like fast transaction, low fee. Like if Ethereum was the only option and you were paying those absurd gas fees and everyone was funneled in there and everyone was waiting 12 seconds, like you wouldn't have had the TradFi adoption, I think, or it would have been hampered.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. It just never all of that was in 2021. And then like ETH never was expensive again. So it never really had an opportunity to prove that wrong.
Chicken and egg though too. Like
true.
It was not expensive because of the L2s and people moved a lot of stuff.
I'll tell you what, if you like crypto, there's some deals out there, man. Holy shit.
Bread Guy, spokesman for Mega ETH, taking this and spinning it bullish for Mega ETH. We've talked about Mega ETH a decent amount on the show. He was basically like pointing and saying like, hey, extreme levels of scaling like we have. I wanted to look at this chart. Did you see this chart they did? Number of transactions across all blockchains, and then they included the Mega ETH stress test they ran, and it's every blockchain just becomes compressed to like 0, and Mega ETH is at this absurd level.
I mean, that's badass, but as if people are actually going to use it. I love this ENS guy in the chat. He said Vitalik's bullying Coinbase to give us a token. I actually love that. What's interesting is with Vitalik's post, there are markets on like, will Base launch a token buy? And it's like, do you launch a Base token if like the future of L2s is uncertain? I mean, he didn't say we're going to like get rid of L2s, right? He just kind of said like we need to focus more on L1.
He says L2s and their role in Ethereum no longer makes sense and we may need a new path. So like they can't get rid of L2s, but what they can do is stop like optimizing like
a blob space.
Yeah, and stuff like that for L2s.
But I guess then L2s could just fork into their own L1s if they wanted to.
Correct.
Interesting. Yeah, so maybe Base could still launch a token.
We're looking at 57% chance by the end of the year. This was higher, right? Feels like this was high.
Yeah, they both dumped like into the crypto dump with like the thought process you don't want to launch a token when conditions are bad. I swear I heard a rumor that they were going to launch one in the first half of this year.
These crypto companies are very price sensitive.
Yeah.
And I don't think for a token the wheels get turned quickly enough. Like you can always like hit the brakes.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. I'm with that. I mean, there was a lot of back when I was doing the parlays, I was taking like the no on all these companies doing airdrops by the end of last year, and none of them did an airdrop.
Pump Fun airdrop, 43% by the end of this year. I think that was higher for last year at times.
It was. I know that. It was a good trade.
Hyperliquid airdrop. Mega ETH airdrop.
Hit see all results because sometimes they have like a bundled market where it's like 8 options. Like, will any of these do an airdrop? No. Polymarket needs to get back on it. There's but like look MetaMask. Like type in MetaMask. Oh.
Hold on, I'm just looking. This is like
yeah. So yeah, they're serious. Launch a token buy is what they're saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of launch tokens.
Yeah, because there's the one like MetaMask. Yeah.
Let me just look at because this is like
because I swear like MetaMask launching a token buy was pumping recently.
September.
I saw it on my chart analysis. What do we think about an OpenSea airdrop? You'd think that would happen sometime soon. There's also OpenSea airdrop markets. I think you could take the no on 2 billion at a pretty good price. Maybe not anymore. Yeah. Like 2 billion FDV. I think that was even more juicier a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I think somewhere between 500 mil and 2 bill makes sense. Trying to middle it over 500, under 2 bill. I could see a world where
dump OpenSea airdrop so fast.
I could see
if it's worth anything. I hate airdrops. I need an AI agent because like I still own my Monad airdrop. That was worth $5K at one point. It's probably $2,000 now.
After Vitalik, I don't know. We'll see.
I got to go fucking figure out how to nest my moonbirds. You know, there's so much fucking work, you know, to do all this stuff. Like, just give me my money. Actually, just sell my token for me and just drop me the USDC, please.
It's my money and I want it now.
I want it fucking now. I don't know, dude. I mean, it fucking sucks. I mean, I even got sucked into the whole like 4-year cycle not going to happen thing. And it happened.
Yeah. And everyone's like praying that's going to happen.
You know what's funny too is I had a whole thesis that the ETFs pulled forward the cycle by 3 months. And so like selling in August was the time to sell. And I didn't listen to myself. I'm a believer, dude. That's a promise. I'm a believer at heart. You know what I mean? So,
well, I mean, what I did the same thing both cycles. Like I made money and then I lost 6 figures from the top, both cycles. Like if I would have sold stuff in summer this cycle, I would have been at least 6 figures higher than where I ended up. If I sold stuff at the top of 2022, 2021, I would have made 6 more figures, like additional 6 figures. So like I definitely round tripped a decent amount.
So what's the lesson? Sell next time?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, so I thought like what happened cycle 1 was mania, and it was where I entered the cycle was in mania. And I was like, this is like, I wasn't like, I didn't have like a baseline going into it. I was like, damn, this is crazy. Look at all this money that's being made.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like kind of a baseline. And we never got to that level this cycle.
No.
Like we had some like stuff that people are like, yeah, those are obvious top signals. You had Trump coin launching, you had AI tokens going to the moon, but they didn't really go to the moon as much as some of this stuff did. And how wacky.
Well, there was no funny money this cycle. There's no stimmy money. There was no fucking Domino's delivery drivers getting enhanced unemployment, getting 5K checks a fucking month, dude, on enhanced unemployment, just plowing it into everything.
Yeah. So like, that's what, like this cycle I was waiting. I was like, okay, I know what that euphoria was like. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Just not realizing we were there. So I think it's like you look for a muted version of last cycle's euphoria this cycle.
Yeah. And also I think that just crypto is becoming more mature. Any industry that becomes more mature, there's not as much like easy, dumb money to be had in the aggregate. Like Bitcoin topped out at $2.5 trillion this year. That's a lot of fucking money. Like that puts it at the level of like Google, Microsoft. You know what I mean? Like maybe we were a little silly thinking it was just going to speed run to like 5 trillion from there. But if it's more mature, you also would expect it, you know, not to do 80% drawdowns. But we'll see if that happens.
Yeah. I mean, you have stuff like gold, like losing or gaining like 3x the market cap of Bitcoin
in a day.
Yeah. So I think that also like shows you that, hey, like gold is running right now. I think maybe on that same thesis of like, hey, SaaS and moats of SaaS and number of investments in growth stocks are like dipping. Maybe Bitcoin gets some of that bid and like can make the moves that gold is doing. So I think there's worlds out there where Bitcoin just like can gig ascend with volatility. So
yeah. I mean, I will say I've never seen people more like, I feel like maybe I'm wrong, but people are pretty depressed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I said at the beginning of the show, like if I wasn't holding like a significant bag of hype, like I would be like pretty down on the market right now.
Yeah.
But I'm holding a lot of hype. I'm holding majors and spot, and like I'm doing some small swing trades on meme coins and these AI tokens. And I'm like keeping myself busy with like working on growing skill sets with AI. So like I'm in a place where I'm happy. But yeah, for a lot of people out there, like they're not positioned that same way. So it's tough.
I think just 2022 was really brutal for me. So like this time it just doesn't feel as bad.
Yeah, that was bad. I quit my real life job for crypto right before the bear market. worked for a company that ended up like trying to launch like funding in NFTs in the peak of the bear market, a product that was built to like analyze your NFT portfolio as NFTs were dying, and no one cared about NFTs, and no one definitely wanted to see the value of their portfolio. So like I lost that job, and I was for a bit just kind of like trading and building skill set.
Yeah.
During that bear. So yeah, that was a tough bear. This one not quite as bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think some people probably it's just a hangover from last cycle where they thought there was going to be a lot of easy money.
Yep.
And it
I
wasn't.
think a lot of people fell in that same trap that I was in. Like, hey, this isn't euphoria. I'm going to continue to allocate. I'm not going to take profit. And then they got wrecked. All right, we're running over. We've ran an hour and 15 minutes, Kicks. Thanks for hanging with me. Thanks for chatting, Mark.
No problem, man. I loved it. I had fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun too. Hopefully you did as well as a listener. We do this podcast Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast. You can also watch back on YouTube. And
I just bought some Moltbook.
I'm going to buy it after the show.
I just bought $2,500. Make me $5,000.
Yep, let's do it. Thanks again for